Oh, yeah. You already know what time it is. You already know what's going on. I am your host, Cam Silver.
I am your co-host, Kyle Silver.
And welcome back to the Silver Boys Podcast.
Hey.
It's here. It's here. The weekend is here.
Yes, sir.
The NFL players are here. The road to the big game down in the Big Easy is finally started. How do we feel?
Oh, man. We've been waiting a long time for this. Man, I can't wait for some playoff football. You know, all of these teams about to go crazy. I know there's going to be some upsets we didn't see coming in. But I'm excited, man. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We all know playoff football is the best type of football there is.
Yes. Yes. But before we get to playoff football, let's go over some things that happened after the last week of the season. So, New England decided to fire their coach, Gerard Mayo, just after one season with the team. They went 4-13, and that last game that they ended up winning against Buffalo knocked them out of getting that first pick. So then now they're down, I believe, at like 4th or 5th. If I'm not mistaken, I believe 4th, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that was somewhat shocking, but at the same time, not shocking. Jacksonville decides to fire Doug Peterson. After 3 seasons, Peterson was 22-29, including losing his last 18 of 23 games.
He lost his last 18 out of 23. Yeah. That saga needed to come to a close. Yeah. At this point, there's nothing going on with Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. So yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah. It was about time. Yeah. It was about time. Yeah. And Doug Peterson's a good coach, but it just some things don't work out in your favor.
Yeah,
you know?
No, it's Jacksonville is tough because it seems like they have a quarterback, but I don't feel like he's playing to his potential.
Not at all.
I think they have a great defense. Their defense is all right. They have some studs on that side. They also have some studs on offense as well. Yeah. But they just it's just a matter of like trying to get the quarterback to play to his potential. Going to some more news, David Montgomery saying should be ready for Detroit's divisional round, which is huge.
Good.
Getting both their backs back. Jahmyr Gibbs has been holding him down though. He's been balling.
Yes, he has.
4 touchdowns in that last game to secure that number 1 seed. So congrats to them. Chicago has requested an interview with Mike McCarthy. The Cowboys did not respond for a couple of days, and then they denied the request.
Denied the request?
I've never actually seen anybody deny the request.
Like, why would you do that? I mean, I guess there's got to be talks from Jerry that they're going to sign him again if they're going to deny the request. And then watch, he's not going to have a job. Watch. I'm telling you, that's going to happen.
That'd be the most horrible setup ever.
You don't let the man go interview for another team, but then you don't re-sign him to an extension.
And then he gave off the indication like, oh yeah, like he doesn't want to be here. You can go ahead and talk to other people.
You didn't allow him to.
Then you don't allow him to. Oh my God, like what are you doing?
You're gonna leave the man without a job, Jerry. You're going to. That's embarrassing. That's crazy. That's not good.
And then they're just gonna redo exactly what they did this past season. But we'll let that rock.
Yeah.
We'll just let that rock. Las Vegas fires Antonio Pierce, which sucks because I don't know what he was supposed to do either.
Exactly.
They had no quarterback.
They really feel like they didn't have anything.
They literally just had Brock Bowers.
Exactly.
Exactly. They just had a tight end. Tennessee fires their GM and Brand Carthen. Tennessee, another place where they have potential, especially like their defense is really good. Defense is really stout, but offense, again, looking for a quarterback, just looking for somebody that's steady. So that's going to be something to look at as well. And then for New York, for the blue and red team, since we can't say the names, Jim Morris says that he remains confident in Joe and Brian in their process that they have implemented. So the head coach and the GM and Brian Dable and Joe Shane will stay in New York.
That one's that's still up in the air for me a little bit. But I mean, you got to give them a chance, I guess. Yeah. You can't just I'm really on the fence about like when it comes to my team, New York Blue and Red team. It's I don't want Brian Dable to leave because I do think that he's a phenomenal coach.
Yes.
But you just got to give him the pieces to do it. But then it's like if you don't have the pieces and then he doesn't produce, is that really all his fault? The more to blame I feel like goes to the GM and Joe Shane and some of the transactions that he has had.
Exactly, and how he kind of butchered some of these trades and how some of these signings because like he. For like guys like not even I know we talk about Barkley a lot most of the season, but we have to look at other guys like think about McKinney.
Yep, Xavier McKinney. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
McKinney is like one of the best defensive players in the league right now, and you just let him go for nothing.
You get nothing in return. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it was things like that where I signed with you on that one. Like the GM, you kind of look at questionably, but if Moore believes in it, then hey, I mean, they came from Buffalo, Buffalo, so we'll see how that goes. Going to some injuries, some injury updates. Jalen Hurts is back for Philly, finally practicing again. He just got a concussion protocol. Jordan Love for Green Bay should be good to go. He had an elbow injury in the last week of the season, so he should be good to go coming in for that game as well. So. Yeah.
Okay. You gotta watch out for Green Bay, man.
Yeah.
Green Bay is one. If Jordan Love is healthy, Green Bay they could give teams a lot of problems.
Yeah. No, we'll get into them in a second, but let's go over this crazy weekend that we're about to be headed into. So, LA, the Bolts.
We'll call them. Yeah, the Bolts. The Bolts.
So this LA team. They're going against Houston. In Houston, for the majority of the season, been looking very average, very regular.
Up and down.
Really
up and down.
Yeah. They really get started when Joe Mixon gets started. Their offensive line, it's weird. They're good at run blocking, but they're not that good at pass blocking. Which is I've not really seen that before. And it shows in a play of Stroud. Everyone's like, what happened to Stroud? What happened to Stroud? Well, one reason, everyone has film on you now. So everybody knows exactly what they understand things. They understand
it now.
Exactly. They understand like certain things that you like and certain things that you don't like. Another thing, like I said, the O line. The O line wasn't as strong. They had to make a couple moves on that O line. So now Stroud, it was hard for Stroud to stay upright, and also Stroud was running a lot more than we've ever seen him run.
Yeah.
So I believe LA. I believe LA will take this one because I believe that they will generate pressure, and I believe that Herbert. I believe that Herbert can get his first W.
I think so too. I think just the way this the Bolts, they are the way that they finished the season. First of all, the season that they've had with a new head coach is out of this world, I believe. Just because 11-6, I don't think that we really expected them to go 11-6.
Right.
So, and they could give the Texans a lot of problems, especially on the offensive and even the defensive end. Tank Dell, like that's probably one of the biggest losses. Of talking about injuries, I think that's one of the biggest losses just for a quarterback like CJ.
Yeah.
But yeah, I co-sign with you. I can see this. I can see the Bolts winning this one.
Yeah. LA should
win.
Yeah.
LA should win.
Yeah, they should upset. Going to that night game on Saturday, Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. Good old rivalry. Gotta love it, right? These two, it feels like they've played each other like twice within the last month, and so very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Baltimore's still the favorite, even though Flowers is questionable with that knee injury that he sustained last week. So that's going to be very interesting to see how they proceed with that. But Jackson and Henry, what else do I have to say? What else do I have to say about that? Good old line, great two tight ends that they have in Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. So, and even without Zay Flowers, they still got guys like Rashad Bateman, who could take the top off the defense, still make some explosive plays. So, and then the defense themselves has come along very well. I know Kyle Hampton, I think, is dealing with an injury, but overall they made some changes on that back end, and the Wiggins kid, the rookie. He's come along very, very well, and I like him a lot. So I do have Baltimore coming out of this one, and I feel like Baltimore, for the most part, in the playoffs as a whole, might be the most complete team.
Interesting.
They kind of have a little bit of everything that you want.
I believe that too. It is about can they put the product that we expect them to put out on the field.
Yes.
Especially against like a tough, Pittsburgh-led defense. We all know what T.J. Watt could do.
Right.
We all know that what Mike Tomlin could do. So it's just really about that Pittsburgh offense coming together too, putting up points where they need to put up points, putting pressure on that Baltimore defense.
Right.
I think that'll be important, but that Pittsburgh defense worries me.
Yeah.
Especially the some of the talks that surround Lamar, especially at this time of the season. I just don't want I don't think it will get to his head because you have somebody like Derrick Henry right behind you too.
Mm-hmm.
But that Pittsburgh defense definitely gives you cause to pause,
right? Because they've had over time, I know Pittsburgh as a whole, for the whole team, both offense and defense, that's kind of been reeling. But over time, Pittsburgh has had Lamar's number. They've just been able to at least contain him.
Exactly.
And that's what that's the biggest thing that you have to do with Lamar. You just have to contain him, and then after that, pray he doesn't get going in this passing game. But yeah, Baltimore looks like the favorite. They should be able to get out of that one.
They better get out that one.
Yeah, they have no choice.
They better get out that one.
They have no choice. Another team that has no choice but to get out of this one is Buffalo, as they will be hosting Denver. Denver has a good defense, a really good defense, but they do let up points, so you can score on them. But they do make good stops at good times.
And Bo Nix is surprising everybody.
Yes.
Genuinely. Yes.
He was one of the most ready quarterbacks coming out of the draft.
Absolutely.
I think also because obviously he played extra years or like an extra year in college, but
it shows though. It shows though.
Yeah, it paid
experience.
Off. It paid off.
It's there. It's there. Look at him. First year in playoffs against Buffalo.
Yeah. Which
is probably maybe the second complete team. Maybe the first to some other people.
Yeah. Yeah. With the possible MVP Josh Allen.
Exactly. I don't know, my boy. He's trying to get me to be a believer, and believe in Bo Nix. I mean, after seeing what he did, these last couple games, it's raising questions in my mind.
For me, like, not even last week, because obviously Chiefs didn't play anybody last week, but going to the week before that against Cincinnati, wow, take them to overtime like that was awesome. Like, every time Joe Burrow did something, he came back.
He came right back. He came right back.
You know what I mean? And he's one of those, like, I like him a lot because that experience that he has, it comes with a no fear type of experience. He does it it doesn't matter if something happened to play before that. He's still going to throw that ball.
Oh, he gonna sling.
He gonna sling it. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes. So Buffalo needs to be a little cautious, I believe, because I think that they could get too far ahead of themselves to where now they're gonna find themselves falling behind a little bit. And then I do believe that Denver and Sean Payton can take advantage of that.
Yeah.
And especially if you get Josh Allen in predicaments that he doesn't want to be in too.
Right.
You get him, maybe just running a little bit more. You're really, tightening up on those wide receivers for Buffalo.
Right.
I think Denver could give some problems, man.
Yeah.
I do expect Buffalo to win this game, but Denver, I can see it being really close.
Yeah.
I can see it being super close.
Same. I guess I can almost see a shootout in a sense.
Yeah. Absolutely. Be like 40-39.
Yeah. It's going to come down to it's like how Buffalo is against Kansas City. It's going to come down to whoever has the ball last.
Whoever has the ball last.
Yeah.
Yep.
Going to Green Bay and Philly, kind of alluded to this game with the injuries for both quarterbacks, but if everything goes as planned, both quarterbacks should be playing.
Yes.
And this is a rematch of Week 1. And this is gonna be a good one because of how both teams have been able to raise their levels throughout the season. Green Bay, they are taking a tough loss with no Christian Watson. He tore his ACL. But Philly, obviously, they're the favorites coming in. The thing that I do want to see, hope there's no rush for Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
That because he hadn't played since week 16 against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So then you don't see the Washington. He only plays a little bit against Washington. Doesn't play the Dallas game, and he doesn't play last game against New York. New York. So that's 3 weeks right there, basically of no football. How is he going to look?
No in-game football. That's a lot different. Yeah.
I would anticipate Green Bay to stack the box and make sure Saquon doesn't get going first, and try to get Jalen Hurts to throw the ball to see where he's at.
Yeah,
because
see if he's rusty or see
And then also Philly is one of the worst teams at starting games.
Yes, they are.
They do not start games well.
So if Green Bay could get them to get behind, early, then we started to have a different conversation. Jalen Hurts and the Philly fight back. Especially like you said, if they're stacking the box against Saquon and you don't allow Saquon to get off, in that first quarter, second quarter,
right?
The game will be
different. Will change.
The game can and will be different.
Yeah, because I think the question everybody will have is, can Philadelphia become a comeback team? Or, are they a team that could play from behind?
Yeah,
because obviously
they can play from ahead.
Yeah, they've been stronger. They've been stronger than most teams that they played, so they already know that they can play ahead. But can they play from behind? A touchdown. Or like coming back from like a touchdown and a field goal type game, something like that. So that'd be something to really keep an eye on.
But I got Philly.
I got Philly. Yeah,
they better win too.
Yeah,
they better win too.
Yeah, that's another one. It's funny. It's a few teams here where we're looking at like, all right now.
don't. Y'all can't play around now.
Yeah, I can't mess around with this one. Going on to the next game, we have Washington and Tampa Bay.
I think that'll be a really good game too. Yes, it will.
That's going to be interesting. Jaden Daniels has exceeded expectations and has raised his levels tremendously throughout the season. Baker Mayfield, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch. Dude is just a gamer, man. No matter what it is that needs to be done, he's going to get it done. With his arm, with his legs.
He's going to try and do something.
He's going to get it done.
Try and do something.
He's going to get it done.
Yes.
Very interested to see how the Tampa Bay defense will play Jaden Daniels, because Tyler Bowles, he loves the blitz.
Oh yeah,
he gonna bring that out.
Let's go now. Let's see if Jaden Daniels can handle that blitz. Let's see what he does to get out of certain situations. But you got guys like Scary Terry with you. Like come on.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
Like
then you got
and Jaden can run the ball.
Yes, but Brian, what's his name? Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson. Yup.
Behind you, you got Zach Ertz as your tight end.
Oh yeah. Can I forget about you? Oh, talk about reliable. Just somebody that he's going to be there no matter what. Right. Especially for a young QB too.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Come on. And I'm very, very interested to see how that works. And then Tampa Bay's offense they're clicking.
Yes,
they're clicking. Those wide receivers are something else, man. With Evans and McMillan, and you got guys like Kate Otten, that tight end. And the offense is going, and then your 2 running backs in Buggy Urban and Rashad White. And that's gonna be a matchup. Man.
Yes, it will. That's probably like one of the most like even matchups. I feel like. Yeah. Like in them like Philly and Green Bay. Like I feel like those.
Even this next matchup that we're about to talk about.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
With Minnesota and the other LA team. That both play in the same zone and have the
same colors.
Yeah. Like I don't know what the. All right, LA on the side where they're gonna play the Texans, we'll call them LAB. I like this LA team just a little more.
Let's do Sean Payton's team and John Jim the Hardball team.
The Hardball team. That's how we're gonna do it. That's how we're gonna do it. I'm actually glad that you said that.
Yes.
All right, so we didn't make our picks for the Washington Tampa Bay. That because that one's kind of tough. I can't lie.
I'm gonna take Washington just because I want to see Jaden Daniels keep going. Okay, I want to see Jaden Daniels keep going.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
But I also kind of want them to lose because of my barber. But that's it. That's it. Nah, I'm gonna take Washington. How
you forgetting how Barbara's a Washington fan? Oh man. I'll take it. Yeah, I just like Jaden Daniels. Man.
Man.
Love Baker. I love Mike Evans. Love that whole Tampa Bay squad. But we'll see. We'll see what Washington can do. Going to Minnesota and Harbaugh's LA team. I really like this matchup because this matchup is low key.
Minnesota is Sean Payton's team. Yeah. And this matchup is gonna be, ooh boy, I don't even know. I kind of really didn't expect Sean Payton's team to get in.
This isn't Payton's. This is Minnesota. This is
Minnesota versus the Rams.
Mm-mm.
There's not Sean Payton. I'm sorry.
Harbaugh. Or
No. Oh my God, what is this? McVay. Sean McVay. That's his team. I don't know why I kept saying Sean Payton. My bad, guys. Sean McVay's team. That's the coach of the Rams. Of Los Angeles. He is. I didn't expect them to get in. Honestly.
Yeah, no, they were a team where a couple losses that they took. I think one of them was to Miami, where I was like, oh, I don't know if they're gonna be able to squeeze this one out. But long and behold, they had a division where the NFC West, where San Francisco was banged up, Arizona didn't do themselves no favors by losing to Carolina. Seattle, they had a very weird up and down season as well, and then I think this LA team was just able to capitalize.
They were just able to squeeze in.
Yeah.
Like really, really squeeze in through the door.
But I will say that this is one of the offenses that you do not want to see.
Not at all. I don't want to see Puka. I don't want to see Cooper. I don't want to see Matt Stafford.
Kyron Williams.
I don't. No. Because they can take the top off of defense at any point in the game.
Yes. And this is also a team that has given a team like Detroit trouble. Especially what was it? I think the first game of the season that they played them. Yeah. And then last year in the playoffs as well. So yeah, this is an LA team I don't even want to look at. If I'm Minnesota, I'm like, man, I don't know.
Just because like the way Minnesota, like the way that they started off the season, and then like there were a couple of games where you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Sam Darnold, like, hold on now. But when you got a guy like Justin Jefferson
and Jordan Addison
and
T.J. Hawkinson and what's his face Jones in the backfield, like.
I'm giving you the keys, brother. Like, here, Sam.
And a pretty solid O-line.
Exactly. I'm interested to see what that LA team, what that defense is gonna look like.
Yeah. Young defense too.
Exactly. But I'm taking Minnesota to win that one.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think
I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah, I think personally, I don't see them having two bad games in a row, like what happened against Detroit. Honestly, Detroit just had the number. Aaron Glenn was in a different bag, bro. He was in a different bag. The way that he was able to get pressure on Darnold and make Darnold miss throws that he normally does not miss, and miss for our receivers that were wide open.
Yes.
Like there were times where Darnold had guys open in the end zone, and he wasn't even looking their way because he was so worried about different pressures coming at him, and just the way that Detroit was calling that defense was something else. So. I don't see LA calling the same defense. Obviously, obviously they're different, they're younger, but yeah, no, I have Minnesota. I just, Darnold has been doing his thing the whole year, and he's in. If he can get it to Jefferson, guess what? Addison's right there for him. If he can't get it to Addison, Hawkinson is Mr. Over-Reliable. Your big tight end's the man, and also what's his face, Naylor as well. Another wide receiver was coming to play, so. He got weapons behind there, and also Minnesota's defense is tough too. Exactly. Brian Flores he calls great games.
Yes, he does.
He calls great games.
Yes, he does. And I can see that defense being more impactful than LA's defense against Minnesota.
Yeah,
and I think that'll be the difference of that game.
Yeah. All right. So one last time, just going through everything. So Harbaugh's LA team versus Houston. We picked LA. Pittsburgh versus Baltimore. We picked Baltimore. Denver versus Buffalo. We picked Buffalo. Green Bay versus Philly. We picked Philly. Washington versus Tampa. We picked Washington. And then Minnesota versus McVay's LA team. We picked Minnesota.
All the teams that should win better win.
Yes, for the most part, we picked all the favorites.
Yes,
the favorites coming in. So
yes. You know what? Nah. I'm taking Denver. I'm changing it. I'm taking Denver over Buffalo. I'm just doing it.
Somebody had to go on for the upset. I ain't mad at you.
Come on now.
I ain't mad at you.
I'm taking Denver.
Going to we got a couple minutes left. We'll go to the Heat.
Okay.
So going to the NBA. So we reported that Jimmy Butler kind of indicated that he wanted to trade. It's like he indicated that he wanted to trade. He didn't fully say it, but he said it.
He said it
basically.
pretty much.
I think he said anywhere in the league. So I think there is like a bit of a list. So I believe it was Houston, it was Golden State, Phoenix, and then there were two other teams that I don't have. Dallas was one of them.
Okay.
And I'm blanking on the last one. But yeah, those are a couple of the teams that
Houston,
I've heard.
Dallas, Phoenix, Golden State.
Mm-hmm. Golden State said that they're looking for a big man, so they're not looking to go.
I couldn't do that if I was going to say either.
Phoenix would need Bradley Beal to give up that no trade clause, and I think something else would have to happen as well because I forgot. I think this no trade clause is like temporary or something like that.
Okay.
I wouldn't do Houston mainly because I would want to keep my young squad and be like an OKC.
Yeah.
Where I would keep everybody together and be like, all right, let's see how long that this can can go.
You don't want to break that up.
Yeah, you don't want to break that up exactly. And they're pretty good.
Yeah.
And then who was the other one? Dallas. What would you actually give up if you're Dallas? Because you just got Klay Thompson.
You just got Klay Thompson, and we all know the league is trending toward 3-point shooting. Well, has been
for
in 3 points exactly.
Yeah.
Jimmy, I don't think that you would give up a spot up shooter to get Jimmy Butler, who's a mid-range heavy guy.
Right. Who in spurts when he's hot
can hit the three, but I don't think it's consistent enough.
Right.
For somebody like a Dallas, who we know that they need 3-point shooting because of the matchup that they just had against the Celtics in this last championship game.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think that'll be interesting, like really interesting. I don't know where he could go. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know either. That's the problem.
You want to go play for a winning organization, but these winning organizations have everything that they need already.
Yeah.
Or they don't want to give up things because they know that they can be where they want. They can go where they want to be.
Right.
So where do you fit in? That's the problem.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge problem.
One sneaky one that I heard was Milwaukee.
I think that would be relatively better.
I think it depends on who they would give up.
Yes.
Would you give up a Bobby Portis? Would you give up a Pat Connaughton type guys?
Would you give up Chris Middleton?
Would you give up a Chris Middleton?
Miami ask for Chris Middleton?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, who would want Chris Middleton because he's coming off a double ankle surgery. He's clearly not who he used to be.
Not at all.
So that would be a tough ask right there.
And then you got Dame, Giannis, and Jimmy playing together. Boy, oh boy.
Just
I don't even know how to wrap my head around
There's
that.
3 mega alphas right there. Like mega alphas too. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? Like there's alphas, but then there's those alpha alphas that basically bark at you.
Exactly.
It's those 3.
I don't know, man. I really don't know.
Yeah. I'm stuck on that one. That was one that I've been thinking about all week, and it's like, where? You know what I mean? Like I've looked up and down like almost everybody's roster. And I'm like, dude, you might have to
you might have to do like a year or two, like somewhere where you don't really want to be,
right?
To get where you want to
go, exactly. Or if they could figure out a 3-team or 4-team trade for this to happen, that would also be the only other way. But it depends on who is willing to give up.
Dude. Go to San Antonio.
I'm not sure if things aren't going well in Sacramento. I'm hearing
Sacramento
Fox could be going to.
I did hear that.
You heard about that, right?
I did hear that.
Yeah. That's a serious.
And you know why that would happen because of what they just did to the coach.
Yeah.
That you just let your star player walk because of the way you treated your head coach. So what does that say about him? What would you do to De'Aaron Fox if you did this to your head coach?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Those are questions that'll come up in players' heads, especially top players' heads.
Yeah.
You whatever. You called the man while he was on the way to the team plane.
And told him, yeah, you're done.
You're crumbs, essentially. You're crumbs in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. That was suck to see that team go down like that too. After
really,
they just
became
relevant again. But more news on that stuff because those rumors will be heating up.
Yes,
a lot.
will. No pun intended.
No pun intended. You on one. Yeah. Another great episode. But you already know the time. Till then, I'm your host, Cam Silver,
I'm your co-host, Kyle Silver.
and this is the Silver Boys.
Thank you.